Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another video. Today we will be doing a monthly check-in video, I guess, which I started last month in December. You can watch the first one up there, and it's basically just me sitting down to tell you, update you on how I'm doing with my TBR, update you on new videos that I'm planning to do, or different things that have to do with the channel. And I also decided to also add in unhauls into the monthly check-in, just because it's not a bad idea and I don't want to make a separate video because I don't really have anywhere to put it, right? So yeah, general channel stuff first, then we'll do the TBR stuff, and then we'll do the unhaul at the end. It's going to be divided in chapters, so you'll be able to move through the scroll bar of the video and pick the section you want. So if anything bores you, just skip ahead to the next section, watch whatever section you like. So channel stuff, I did a new type of video. I did a reaction video to the Eden Zero trailer, which was really cool. I could have done a better job, but it was okay. It was the first time doing it. I spent like an hour doing research on how to record audio from my Mac, because you can't do it naturally, like it doesn't let you. So I had to do a bunch of research there. Hopefully that was okay. If you want to check it out, it's up there in the card. The other thing, in February, I do want to do a, it's not a readathon, but I do want to do a thematic type of TBR or reading thing in February, mostly around shoujo, because February is like the love month, and I think shoujo fits that theme. I want to read shoujo, maybe some josei if I can find some, and rom-coms, because I have way too much shonen, and if I don't read it, I won't, my TBR is just going to build up, which is bad. So shonen rom-coms, shoujo, in general, I have some that I've picked up and that I'm planning to pick up the next couple days, and josei if I can find some before the end of the month. Oh, and also female-led books in general, just like, even if it's shonen, but the protagonist is a female, I want to read, the protagonist is a female character, I want to read that during that month. So I think Astra Lost in Space is a good one that is available, and Promised Neverland, so look forward to that. Hope you guys enjoy that. I'm not really the type of person that cares about, yeah, I need to have 20% of the books I read this year female authors or anything like that. I think that's too much effort just to read. But I was curious about shoujo, because I grew up reading YA SSF, which, you know, in the post Harry Potter world that I grew up in, was mostly written for women, or was written by women with female characters, and I kind of got really bored of it, and that's why I stopped reading YA fantasy and got into epic fantasy, like adult epic fantasy, which is mostly written by men, not necessarily exactly for men, but it does come off that way pretty often, which is, you know, kind of sad, because I think that there should be equivalent. Isn't really like an equal amount of authors. It's just like, it shouldn't be so demographically, you know, weighted one side or the other. It should be as mixed and eclectic as possible, because that's better. But yeah, and that's actually why I got into light novels, because I figured out, hey, light novels are mostly aimed at men, mostly written by men, and they're, you know, YA fantasy, and that's something that the West doesn't really cater to right now. So that's why I got into light novels. But the point is that I want to try out shoujo and josei and kind of expand my manga reading horizons, because I am really bogged down in fantasy shonen. So I want to, you know, expand from that, which is why I've been picking up sci-fi titles and trying to get into shoujo. So that's it for that. Let's get into the TBR. What I haven't read so far, which I haven't touched these at all this month, is The Dragon Reborn. I'm still 90 pages in, which is kind of sucky, and I'm still 50 pages away from finishing The Atlas of Dreams, which sucks, but I will get to these eventually, I promise. Now, the one series that I haven't really made much of a dent in is The Guardians of the Moon, or the Book of Malazan. I'm 60 pages in. I'm enjoying this. It's very intriguing, but I have no clue what the hell's going on at all. Very interesting though. I'm really excited to continue reading this. Hopefully I'll finish by the end of the month. I'm not really sure that I will, but hopefully. Okay, so let's look at stuff that I've already read this month. So starting off with Rent a Girlfriend, which was great. I'm going to do a first impression review of this in my new video type, first impressions triplets, but I'm gonna leave this one for February because this is a rom-com manga. So I'll do this one with some of the other ones that I read this month that are also kind of fit into the theme that I'm trying to incorporate into my reading in February. So I'll do reviews for that then. And the next thing I read was Radiant. This will be one of the things that I feature in my first impression triplet reviews. This and Gleipnir, and I'm still thinking of a third one to put into that. I'm thinking Berserk, so I'll try that out. But yeah, this was cool. I liked the story. I like that it's written by a French mangaka instead of a Japanese one. This is a Manfra or Mafra, which is manga from France. Okay, cool stuff. I liked it. Very reminiscent of Fairy Tail, in my opinion, which is cool. Okay, after that, I read Combatants Will Be Dispatched by the creator of Konosuba. I read this digitally. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Very funny, a lot funnier than Konosuba was, in my opinion. Or at least the first volume of Konosuba, which is the first light novel that I reviewed on this channel. So, yeah, the review for that should be coming out next week on Monday, if all goes well. Okay, after that, I read Gleipnir, which was awesome. It's very interesting. It's very compelling. I think the character work is really interesting, and the world building is minimal, but the first volume really sets up a very interesting kind of, mystery, which I'm really excited to get into. So good stuff there. Next, I read Danmachi Volume 4, or Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Now, I wasn't planning on reading this. If you guys remember my TBR video, which is up there, I had not planned to read it, but my buddy Reki, or Josh, I guess, Collecting with Josh is his Twitter, which you guys can see right there. He asked me to trade some light novels for a bunch of manga that he has that you guys should see in an unboxing video tomorrow. And yeah, he wanted Danmachi 4 and the other Danmachi novel that I had, which was Volume 3. So I speed read it. I sped through it as I read it. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I have a review for it. I recorded already, so that should come out next week. But yeah, it was really good. I already sent it out, so I don't have it with me to show it to you guys. Sorry. And next, I read Goblin Slayer, which is really awesome. If I had read this last year, it would have been probably in the top 3 light novels that I read last year, but it wasn't, so it's here now. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It was so dark. It was very grimdark, Game of Thrones-esque type of fantasy, but it was kind of interesting because it does have a epic fantasy world setting, but the actual story is very narrow and very like general fantasy, maybe even more akin to heroic fantasy, which just deals with one character, side characters that are either love interest or, you know, other fighters that help him along his journey. And it's just about him defeating the big bad guy of the book, which is interesting. But I've heard that this actually diverges from that. And it's just kind of like the introduction into a world, and that later on different volumes actually deal with different characters. So I'm actually interested to see how that goes. But first volume was really awesome. I really liked the story and how dark it was. It was really interesting. It was really good. Okay, after that I read Golden Time, which is the second book that I'm going to be doing a first impressions on alongside Rent a Girlfriend in early February. But yeah, this one was okay. I didn't dislike it. It's by the same creators Toradora and Evergreen, as you guys can see right there. And it was okay. The main female character was kind of annoying, honestly. She was a little too, like, full of herself, and I didn't really like that. Because it wasn't like she was confident in herself. It was just like she was delusional and thought that she was, you know, epic and like amazing, when really she was just kind of a weirdo. And it was just kind of like a little bit annoying, but I thought it was a good start to a series. I would really like to read some more of it to see if it gets any better. I think the last couple pages were really good, but the early on stuff was not that great. So this is a pretty, you know, mid-level book. Next, Eden Zero. I wasn't actually planning on reading this this month. Well, I think I was reading this one. I wasn't planning on reading this one. I can't remember. But I did anyways because I really like Eden Zero. So Eden Zero 7 and 8, this covers most of the Sun Jewel arc. And holy crap, dude, it's so good. I love how good Hiro Mashima's storytelling is in Eden Zero. It's very nice. The art is wonderful. The story, the Sun Jewel arc is so good. And from what I understand, it's not even the best arc yet. The arc that comes after this, the Dragon Jail arc, is supposed to be even better. I've heard some crazy stuff and that it gets really dark and crazy. And I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I love these covers quite a lot as well. I'm kind of disappointed that I found out who this character was and it was not who I was expecting, or it wasn't someone else. It was just another character. Like, it was just a redesign for the same main characters, which, I don't know. I would have preferred this character to be someone new instead of just a redesign of Wise. So, yeah. What else? Okay, the last thing I read was My Dress Up Darling, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It was really smutty or naughty or whatever. I don't know how to call it. It was really full of fan service. But it was also really wholesome and cute. And that's such an interesting, weird combination, honestly. It's very different and new, and I quite like that a lot. But yeah, I definitely recommend this title for adults. This is definitely not for children at all. And yeah, so changes to my TBR now. Basically, I have 3 changes because there was a bunch of other novels that I was going to read, like The Aspect, Guildcore, Hive Queen, and I needed to finish a couple others. I'm still going to read those, but since those are digital, I can read those actually quite faster because I can read those at times that I can't read physical books. So those will probably be finished relatively quick, but I want to change some stuff up for my physical novels to read this month. So I'm moving Toradora to February because this is a rom-com and because the main character is a girl. I think she's the main character as far as I understand it. So I'm going to read this in February because it just fits the theme and the kind of video series that I want to do next month. So this is off my list. To replace that, light novel-wise, I'm adding Rise of the Shield Hero 4, which is cool. I'm excited to get into this. I think this is where stuff starts to get interesting. And basically, I just want to get through the 6 volumes I own, just so I can decide, hey, do I want these or do I not want these, right? And, you know, unhaul them as necessary. So, yeah, nothing much to say. I'm just going to add this to the list of stuff to read. I'm also going to add Berserk Volume 1, just so I can do another First Impressions video, because I didn't think anything else kind of fit the same theme as the other 2 I'm covering, besides Berserk. So, yeah, that's basically it. I'm just excited to get into this, see if I like it, and from there decide if I want to pick up the deluxe editions, because those are, like, if I'm going to collect Gantz, or not Gantz, Berserk at all, I want to collect it in the best way possible, and that is not single tankobons. I prefer the big deluxe editions just visually, right? So there we go. Those are the last bits of changes to my TBR. It wasn't very much, honestly, but I just wanted to get it out there just in case, and kind of to solidify it for myself, right? So there we go. That's that. Now, the unhauling process. A lot of these I'm unhauling not because I dislike them, but because either I got a better version of the same book, or I'm looking to get upgraded versions of the books that I'm getting rid of, or because they're actually light novels and I just have the manga and I don't want the manga because I'm going to buy the light novels. Oh, that was a really weird way to say it, but yeah. So the first stuff I want to get rid of is Dragon Ball Z Volume 1, 2, and 25. Now, these are in pretty poor condition, honestly, so I don't know if I'll be able to sell them like on Reddit and stuff, but hopefully I can. A friend of mine gave me these because he didn't want them anymore, and usually I would keep stuff that my friends give me, but these are just in too bad of a condition for me to really want to keep. Plus, he was moving back to Mexico or something, and he gave them to me because he didn't want them, where I bought them off of him for really cheap. I can't remember what happened, but basically these are too like in a condition that I don't enjoy, and I don't want, because I want to collect the Vizbigs, as you guys can see right there. There's a bunch of Vizbigs over there, that way, there we go. And I just prefer that version instead of these individual ones. So I'm gonna get rid of these just because I don't like the condition on them. I'll probably try to sell them on Reddit for relatively cheap, or like more cheap than usual. Like usually I sell manga for about $5 volume. I'll probably end up selling these for like $2 or $3 or something like that. Just so I can get rid of them because I don't want them. The next one is Seven Deadly Sins Volume 1. Now this is the one you'll see me unbox tomorrow. And mostly I'm getting rid of this one because the spine is messed up, and I already have one that has a good spine, so I'm just getting rid of this one so I don't have doubles. Let's see. Okay, Soul Eater Volume 1. I'm getting rid of this one because I want to buy the nice perfect editions or collector's editions or whatever they're called. This one I really enjoyed, but I want a better version, so there we go. Next, Spice and Wolf Volume 1, same thing, or more or less. This one is a light novel first, a manga second, and I don't want the manga because I'd rather read the light novel. I should be going to buy some light novels later this month, so I'll possibly be able to pick up Volume 1 of this. Shaman King. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this one just because Kodansha is coming out with the new, 3-in-1 versions pretty soon. I think sometime in February they release, and I want to pick up that, and I don't want to have doubles of the same thing, so I'm getting rid of this. Should be able to sell this relatively for a good price, even though it's not in the best condition, because collectors like specific versions. So there we go. Good stuff there. Next, oh yeah, Haruhi Suzumiya. So these are actually in pretty good condition. They're really white, and this one has a bit of damage on like crease wise, but the other two are really good. So Haruhi Suzumiya 1, Haruhi Suzumiya 2, and Haruhi Suzumiya 3. Now, these are the same thing as Spice and Wolf. I just want to pick up the light novels now that they're getting reprinted, and I no longer need these to enjoy the story. So what I'm going to do is, since I already read this one, I'm going to read these two, review it, and then get rid of it, and then buy the light novel, read that, review that, and then decide from there if I want to keep collecting the light novel series or not. Yeah, and then the last thing I want to get rid of is my volumes of Naruto. So my buddy Darth Penn has volumes 1 through 24 of Naruto, and he doesn't want them, and he got them for a really, really low deal. So he's willing to sell them to me for the same price, which is really, really low. Like, seriously, it's a great deal. And I have these volumes of Naruto that I want to get rid of because the set that he has is more or less in better condition, and there's way more of them. I don't want to have doubles of the first 5 Naruto volumes and a random one that I'm not going to read anytime soon. So I'm going to get rid of these as fast as I can. So volume 45. This one is not in great condition. Honestly, it has some damage on the spine, but other than that, it's okay. I'll probably sell this one for pretty cheap. And then okay, so he told me that volume 1 is better that I keep because the one he has is in somewhat of a bad condition. So I'll keep this one, sell the other one when I get it, and then I'll sell Naruto 2. There you go. Naruto 3, Naruto 4, and Naruto 5. So yeah, Naruto's some of my favorite stuff ever. Best, maybe not the best shonen that I've ever watched, but it's one that I grew up with. And so I love Naruto quite a lot. Yeah, I'm just getting rid of these because I'm going to get a different set, and I don't need doubles of the same manga, especially not if they're in the same edition. So yeah, there we go. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If there's any TBR stuff that you guys have read or any recommendations for shoujo, or josei or rom-coms, please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And in general, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.